Hello. How you doing?
Something going on now. Looking about your nation, sure it's kind of something new. It's driving me right out of my mind now. It's gotta be desperation.
So anyway, what's this? This is Sunday. Little late to the game on this. Kind of. It's still the weekend, so who gives a fuck? This is, as I've said before, I normally do this on Saturdays as a sorry. I normally do this on Saturdays as a the morning after the night before kind of idea. But not today. But the fact still remains that we're here to discuss this past Friday night. Open stage at Flash. So, off we go. What did I do? I did Oh Lord by In This Moment. If you don't know who In This Moment is, go ahead and look them up. Really great metal band. Headed by Maria Brink. An absolutely gobsmacking performer. Normally, if I had my shit together, and I did Friday night, and I was even surprised at myself for that. Hang on. Adjust my cushion. Normally, it's 5 o'clock, and then it's fucking 5:30 and 6 o'clock and so on, and I'm around that time I'm thinking about starting to get ready, right, to go downtown, because I don't live downtown. This time, I had my wits about me. It was like 6 o'clock or whatever, and I was ready, right? I had my shit packed. I was ready to fucking go. So I left at what? I left before 7, right? So for me, that's a good. I left somewhere between 6:30 and 6:45. Show starts a little after 8, right? So I was doing good. I was happy with myself. For me, as I've said before, if I get there at like 7:45, I feel late, even though I have acres and acres of time. Right? So, what the fuck is being... let's do that. So yeah, I get there, and I got there before everybody. I walked in and two people who usually beat me there weren't there yet. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, god damn, how early am I? I walk in, the coat check guy's not there yet. The bartenders were, so that's fair enough. This was what? This was about 7:40, 7:45 or so. I wander in. And as much as I like being early, when I got there, I put my stuff down. I think I went out for a smoke or something. And yeah, I was kind of sitting there with my thumb up my ass, wondering what to do. So anyway, Disco, Panic Fantasy, and Button showed up. So I had people to at least talk to, and I made good on my word to Panic, and I gave her the fan I told her I was going to get her. So that was cool. She had this pump action motherfucker. I don't know where the fuck she got the damn thing, but every time I would see her, she'd have this fucking thing going, and I'm like, honey, no, we got to get you a fan. I have one. It's on my coffee table somewhere. I said, baby girl, I'm gonna get you a fucking fan. So I did. I got her the exact one I have. USB chargeable. It's got a little dock on it, so you can just sit it on the dock and have it in front of you if you like. At home, doesn't matter, and it's handheld, so you can take it with you and all that kind of bullshit. So yeah, that was kind of fun, and I took her existing fan from her, and I'm like, let's get rid of this fucking thing. So I threw it in the garbage at the end of the bar. End of the bar. I threw it at the end of the bar. So slowly people start streaming in. Slowly. Beginning of the night is always slow, but round about like 8:30, 9 o'clock, the crowd amps up. So it wasn't too bad. It's always a rager at Flash, so no harm done there. It's always a great fucking night. I was despite the number I was doing, oh Lord, by in this moment, I was surprisingly calm, and I'm not sure why. I had everything. I had everything well in hand, right? I always do. I don't choreograph anything. All of my movements are improv, right? I suppose I could choreograph some stuff, but lucky for me, what I do, or the material I do rather, doesn't require a lot of choreography. And anything I do theatrically or performatively, all it takes is feeling out the song I'm performing, and I already know all my material and how it's supposed to. I'm already very aware of the visual that I want to offer or project, right? So I don't really need to choreograph anything, so I have that in my court. Where's my fan? I am fucking hot. Aye. Let me get my fan going. Let me get my fucking fan going. There. Ah. So yeah, it was a good night. A lot of usual suspects. Like I said, Panic Fantasy was in, or Disco as I call her. And we had Mackenzie in. We had Terrible Greg in. We had Pinkety Twinkety or Twinkety Pinkety. I don't know. I forget which order their name is in. But they were in. We had Juice in. Juice did a great number. They did Halo by Beyonce. Really cool. If you don't know who Juice.Cube is, follow them. They're a great performer, and they're also a great designer as well. Juice actually designed and created the headpiece I wore for my number, which was a Blind Faith mask inspired by the piece that Maria Brink wore in her own video. So yeah, that was fun. It was really fucking cool. Man, like I said a second ago, for some reason I wasn't nervous. I don't know, because I've been building all of this stuff up. I've been building my act for 3 years, and I guess it goes without saying that all of the songs I do are being performed in public for the first time, right? And that said, usually I'm fucking having kittens before I hear my name announced. But funny enough, the moment I do hear my name announced and I jump up on stage, all of that goes away for some fucking reason. I don't quite understand how my mind works in that way. I go right, and then once I'm performing, I go right. Somehow I build, like fucking stage fright, nerves. I'm a frayed wire. I'm a fucking lit match. And then the minute I'm on stage, the match goes out. Right? It's just everything's cool. I don't know why that is. Call it stage fright. I don't know. It's a good thing though, because I'm a true believer in the idea that if you are about to perform and you're not nervous and you don't get all jittery, you're doing it wrong. You're too big for your britches. I mean, for Christ's sake, look at it this way. Metallica just finished a world tour for their most recent record. I've seen the clips online, and you can too. Just look it up. And you can, when they're at these arenas and behind the stage, the backstage footage, you see Lars, the drummer, pacing back and forth, slapping himself in the face, getting all hyped up, right? And then he goes on stage. You see James Hetfield, the fucking lead singer of Metallica, pacing back and forth, puffing on a cigar, and he's got his assistant there, and he's putting on his sleeves, his things, and they're getting him all mic'd up and stuff, and he's going like this, he's shaking it off, and he's doing all these jittery movements. I guess, I mean, I know I'm talking about myself and how I get all fucked up and everything, but if there's anyone out there who is kind of battling with themselves about stage fright and nerves and all this kind of bullshit, just think of that, right? Think of Metallica, one of the biggest bands in the fucking world, and they get nervous. They are nervous. A 30, 40-year career. One of the best metal groups out there. Legendary, living legends. And James Hetfield is backstage, pacing around and gathering his composure. There's no fucking recipe, kids. Miley Cyrus, same thing. I love Miley. I am a devout fan of Miley. I fucking love her. I love her music. I love her mind and the things she stands for. Right? I think Miley Cyrus is an absolutely gorgeous person, mentally and physically. And she was on stage recently accepting an award and talking about this very thing, about fear and performance anxiety. And she says, you know what? We get scared. She said, as I'm on stage right now, I'm scared right now. But that's what drives us. And that's what drives me. I push through the fear and I use it as inspiration. Right? As fucked up as that sounds. So, yeah, I didn't mean to get off on a rant there, but whatever, you know what I mean. So back to Friday. So Lucy shows up, she pulls out the clipboard. Imara was in. Co-hosting. Oh my god, I love Imara. She looks like Detox, which apparently she's been told at least 100 times. But no, she's gorgeous. She's fucking gorgeous. Oi. My God. And so was Lucy, by the way. Lucy is a fucking cutie. Oh my God. Gorgeous. Oi. But anyway, I digress. So I see Lucy at. I'm talking to Disco and Button, and I see Lucy at the bar. The clipboard out, and this is approaching 8 o'clock or so, whatever. Maybe a little after 8, and I'm waiting for Juice to get there, because Juice had the rest of my outfit with them. And I couldn't do anything without her being there, right? So I'm freaking out, going, where the fuck is Juice? So she shows up. She messaged me. She says, I'll be there in 8 minutes. So she shows up. I went third. So there was the spotlight, 2 people, and then me. Luckily, that gave me enough time. That gave me and Juice enough time to strap me into the mask and get me all situated. And my moment came, and I was blind. I was essentially blind. I could see a little bit, but not too much. So Juice was gracious enough to help me to the stage. I used to do a little pre-show thing when I got to the club, and then I would do a mid-show, and then I would do a wrap-up on my way home. I came away from it all. I don't know why. Because I like doing it, and I bought a fucking selfie stick to do it. I'm using it right now. I have the time to do it when I'm downtown. I don't know why I don't do it anymore. Probably because I do this. Right? I give a full report on the weekend of. So, yeah. Speaking of performing, I did Pegasus the other week for the first time. I've been to Peg before, 14 years ago, 13, 14 years ago. I didn't know they did open stage until I was told. Like I said in my last broadcast, there's 5 venues that I can think of that do open stages, and Pegasus Lounge is one of them. They did not do open stages back when I was hanging out downtown. Right? So they've thrown their dog into the fight, so to speak. I don't know, man. It was an okay night, and I'm gonna be honest. No tea, no shade, but I've said this to people privately, and I'm going to say it now. It's great. It's really cool that these open stage nights exist to begin with. It's a really cool concept, and it allows folks like me and my fellow open stagers a moment to show what we have to offer the people, right? and come from that what may, right? Some of the girls probably have goals of any description. You know what I mean? Some don't. Some is just a hobby. It's a whole carnival of different outlooks on the same thing. But that said, like I said a second ago, no tea, no shade, but for my money, I don't know if anyone remembers the show Cheers from the 80s, but the open stage night on Wednesdays at Pegasus is like it's as though they took the set of Cheers, threw a stage on the front end of the set, and said, "Here, go nuts." I don't. It's for me. It doesn't fly. It just doesn't. The math ain't mathin' with a show at Peg. The night I was there, and a little sidebar, after my first performance there, my only performance there, I did get positive feedback, and that's all gravy. That's fine. I appreciated it. But it just kind of fell short for me, because my afterthought was, okay, the only people who are watching this are the people on the front end of the fucking place itself. Right? The people sitting at the bar aren't paying a goddamn moment of attention. Right? It just doesn't jive for me. Because Pegasus is a lounge. And so too was Zips when that existed. Now, yes, Zips down at Church and Gerrard, Zips was a nightclub and a piano bar on the front. You had the nightclub in the back, cell block. On Thursday nights back in the day, they had the Zippers Angels every Thursday. They had other shows, but I forget what they were. But I knew the Zippers Angels was Thursday nights, and then Friday and Saturday was a normal club night, and they would have cabaret, like live piano cabaret in the front end, and then Sunday nights in the back, once again in the nightclub, was retro night. So Zips was a really great spot, right? And so was George's Play, just up the street. George's Play went under, became Church on Church, and then that went under, and then it became Bliss, BLYSS. The guy that owned Zips also ran George's Play. I know him. I don't know what he's doing now, but regardless. So yeah, all that to say, it worked at Zips, and it worked at George's Play, I don't know if they had. I don't know if they stuck with the drag shows at Bliss and Church on Church. They might have. I don't know. I was only there a couple of times. But for all intent and purpose, George's Play was a drag bar, and they had some brilliant talent there in the day, right? So, comparatively speaking, I like comparing these two venues to Pegasus, and we're kind of coming away from the idea of open stage for a second and just talking about a show in general. But it all intermingles rather. Comparing two spots, Zips and George's Play, to Pegasus. Like on Sesame Street, one of these things just ain't like the other. It, for me, in my opinion, it doesn't fly at Peg. It just doesn't. I don't know how long they've been doing it. And I don't know how long the two hosts have been doing it as performers. And I wish them every inch of success. But it just, for me, it just doesn't land. So, yeah. That's my 2 cents on Pegasus. To come away from Flash for a second. I could fucking sit here and ramble on about Flash fucking until midnight tonight if you let me. I'm gonna go pee. Hang on. What I can tell you is that I do have more interviews coming up. I'm still trying to etch out a date and time for Ophelia Vidal to join me. It would be easier if Ophelia was in Toronto. But she's out on the West Coast. She's out in Alberta. And so there's a 2-hour time difference to consider, and both of our work schedules. And we've been trying our best, her and myself, to etch out something that works for both of us. So stay tuned for my announcement on my interview with the lovely Ophelia. Also coming up, I can tell you that on Friday night I spoke to Pinkity, and we had a lovely conversation at the club, and I DM'd her after, and I said how lovely it was to chat with her. and I extended an olive branch to her and asked if she would be comfortable coming on live with me for a chat, and she graciously agreed. I found out during our conversation on Friday night that Pinkity is someone that I'm really curious about. They're into some things that really tug on my heartstrings. So I'm really excited to talk to Pinkity. So keep an eye on my Instagram for that announcement as well. My live session with Ms. Pinkity. I'm really fucking excited for that one. I've got some really cool stuff coming down the pipe. I'm always working on at least 2 or 3 songs. In a couple of weeks, I'm bringing out something really huge for me. Again, surprisingly enough, I'm not nervous about this, but at the same time, I'm petrified because of what this is. Oh man, what the fuck am I doing? Is my whole mindset. This is gonna be special. I don't quite know what else to tell you. Oh. It was a great night at Flash. Always is. Flash is always a rager. I recently got where is it? I'll tell you about this. Where is it? You all know what RuPaul's Drag Race is, right? Everyone knows that. WoW presents. Available, you know all about that, whatever. What you might not know is OG Club Kid James St. James has a podcast called Night Fever. And the idea of Night Fever is speaking to nightlife legends from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. Right? Everybody who were movers and shakers back in that scene in the 80s and 90s and backward. Everyone from designers to club kids themselves, etc. Right? A recent episode of Night Fever featured Alyssa Max Goodman. Alyssa is not a club kid, but she is a drag historian. And I'm kind of a self-proclaimed drag historian. I know a lot about it, going back to the Prohibition era and so on. During Alyssa's conversation with James on the podcast, they were talking about this. I know it's backwards, but whatever. This is Glitter and Concrete. This is Alyssa Max Goodman's book. And it is an A to Z on drag history in New York. Going from the 20s and 30s onward. We're talking about the mob run clubs in the Prohibition era and what went on then. We're talking about around what? Around 1939 or so. Maybe my dates are marred there, but bear with me. But a movement called the Pansy Craze, and I didn't know it had a name, but the Pansy Craze is the moment back then where drag performance and for all intent and purpose drag queens went from these, like in terms of popularity, right, and acceptance, they went from these mob run clubs slowly but surely into the public consciousness, and on it went from there. And there are a healthy amount of people, performers from back then, who were instrumental in that movement. I remember if you've seen Paris is Burning, about the ball scene in New York back in the 70s and 80s in Harlem, you know who Dorian Corey is. All this stuff, the ball scene, everything, because no shade to Madonna, but Madonna did not invent voguing. But anyway, yeah, Glitter and Concrete is a chronology of all these things, and I can't wait to read all this because I already know about most of it. So another book I have on the way is called, what the fuck's it called? The Castle on Sunset. Written by Sean Levy, I believe. Castle on Sunset is the history of Chateau Marmont on Sunset Boulevard. It's this infamous, if you don't know it, Chateau Marmont was, if you, like, I was telling someone about this book, or rather the chateau itself, and I said, okay, take RuPaul's Drag Race. They said, yeah. I said, turn RuPaul's Drag Race into a hotel. An uncensored, don't ask, don't tell kind of environment. I said, that is the role that the Chateau Marmont played from 1939 until this very moment. Chateau is an absolutely iconic getaway for Hollywood elite over the years, rock stars, this, that, you name it, actors, everybody. Chateau Marmont was a haven for the upper echelon of Hollywood, right? And the book is called The Castle on Sunset, written by Sean Levy, I believe, and I'll correct that in my description when I look it up. Actually, I could be wrong, but his last name is Levy. So yeah, I've got this. This is about $20 or $30. Alyssa's book, and Castle on Sunset is about $20 and change on Amazon. You can order it from penguinbooks.com, but you have to create an account first. So if you don't want to do that, just go on Amazon and pick the fucking thing up. So I'm really excited to dig into both of these books. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I don't really know anything. I don't really know what else to tell you. can't think of anything. I'm back to work tomorrow on days, which is why I'm in a position to be able to maybe etch out something with Ophelia, and so too will I be discussing schedule things with Pinkety. So I'm looking forward to that. Flash was a really great night. I can't say enough. Mara and Lucy were and are great hosts, and I do know that Ophelia Manson has decided to take a bit of a step back from performing due to an unfortunate and constant injury. So that I'm not talking tales out of school here. She's being public about it. So I don't mind talking about it. we wish Ophelia every healing moment that she deserves, and we wish her well. She has said that she will be upkeeping her co-host duties at Flash, and she has some upcoming gigs that she will be honoring as well. But for all intent and purpose, Ophelia Manson is taking a slight step back, but she's still honoring her future bookings. So that's cool. We're here for you, Ophelia. So yay. Yeah, I don't know what else I can tell you. So I'm gonna fuck off for now. I kind of want to rehearse a few things. So I guess I'm gonna leave you alone for now. So bye everybody. Thank you for watching, and I might go back to Flash. I might go back to Pegasus this Wednesday because I'm off on Thursday. So I'm toying with it. I don't know yet. Either way, thanks for watching, and I will be back soon with another report from downtown. Thank you. Stop. There.